Hello, good day. This is Wacko Radio with our episode of embarrassing moments, and guilty pleasures.
Yes.
We're going to share some stories
Tell some tales. Maybe some people out there can relate to some of these.
You're not alone out there.
Shed a tear or two. Have a giggle with us.
Right, maybe you will shed a tear. That's what we set out to do, is change lives.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's give it a go. Wacko Radio. Here we go.
We'll start with
a little introduction of ourselves. Sean, would you like to go first?
We have our
Special
on
guest
Wacko Radio today.
Woo! Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Sean. I'm here to talk about some embarrassing things. Some guilty pleasures, which are also embarrassing, most likely.
And we got Liz.
We have Liz over here.
Liz Wacko and Brad Wacko.
Yep. Woo!
Woo!
Crickets. So
let's embarrass ourselves and each other.
Why not?
Let's.
We will change the names of any of these stories. Whoever's listening, relax. We won't say your real name.
Your names won't be used.
Right, we'll just beep it out. Or, we'll use other names or whatever they do.
Yeah,
Beep.
I'll use nicknames or alter egos.
Right, alter egos. That's a good idea. So, we could start with embarrassing moments.
Sure, let's each tell an embarrassing story. Who would like to start?
Sean, you're the special guest.
I'll start.
You start.
I'll start. I used to be a serial closet pisser. It was an issue that I had for a while in the days of heavier drinking, the blackout days, when by the end of the night, pass out drunk, and I would get punched awake in the middle of the night by Kara being like, "You're pissing in the fucking closet again. Would you go to the goddamn bathroom?" So that happened multiple times. It hasn't happened recently. I don't have like a thing. I wish I had a thing that was like
a
it's been 375 days since
my last piss.
Since my last closet pee. So let's say, how long? A few months?
And sometimes I would branch out. Yeah, so one time it was in a kitchen. Like the party wasn't even over yet. But I was. For me, the party was over.
You were
I was already complete. I have no memory of it.
I feel like I witnessed it. I swear I witnessed it, but...
What, in the kitchen?
We lived in a house in Heidelberg. It was right down the street from the Heidelberg Exxon, or Marathon now. But, just another night where we'd been partying, got really hammered. I was blackout drunk at that point. This one I had to hear about the next day.
Ooh.
Next day burn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where I wake up and I found out that, I had just gone into the kitchen. I guess no one was really in there at the time. But it just Joe was there, and he just happened to see me. He happened to see me whip it out.
Right.
Oh, did he really?
He saw me whip it out and started pissing in the kitchen.
He saw your Lucky Charm.
And so he went over there, and so that time he was the one trying to snap me out of it. But I guess I just did not give a shit. I just the stream kept going. So the next day I wake up and I come downstairs and I see that my roommate Todd, his
This is his actual name, right?
Well, I don't care if Todd knows.
Todd.
But the roommate at the time, I see his bath towel on the floor in the kitchen, up against the island, and I didn't know at that time why it was there. But I guess after I'd finished my business, they had tried to clean it up, and they were but there was no paper towels or anything, so they just were well, let's just grab one of Sean's towels, since he's the one who's pissed there. I'll have to deal with the pissy towel. But then they grabbed Todd's instead.
Poor Todd.
So he got his bath towel soaked in piss because I'm an idiot. So that's my story.
You're not the only pisser. Liz has a nice little pee story. Share it to the world.
Okay, well, the birthday tailgate saga
2000.
I don't know when. We're not saying what birthday it was. We're not going by age or dates or anything here. So, I was of age. Let's just put it that way. I was legally able to be drinking. We're just gonna leave it at that. It was really hot out. We were tailgating. Anybody who's done that and day drinking, that's, can get a little rough. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I brought a bottle of tequila with me to celebrate, and a bag of salt.
Weed.
No, salt. I didn't bring
fucking shrooms.
No. That probably sounded that's where I was going, but it really wasn't. I had a bottle of tequila and a bag of sea salt. I didn't bring any limes. And so
no limes.
I was telling everyone to just lick their thumb and dip it in the salt and then lick it and take a swig of tequila, because that's classy and so that kind of started the whole story. Tequila can make me a little crazy. So we were doing lots of shots of tequila, and shortly after we were drinking it, I remember my friend said to me, "Oh my God, the bottle's empty." She heard clunk, someone tossed it in the back of a truck, and she was like, "It's empty already. Oh my God." So it was a pretty blurry day, but I remember I really had to pee, as you do when you're drinking.
Right.
And I guess where we were, there was a little patch of woods. So it seemed to make sense to go to the woods instead of crossing the street to a porta-john. Mm-hmm. Right, logic, obviously. Yeah. So, and it wasn't just me. My friend was with me, and we'll call her Benita. And
Benita.
She came with me, and I just really had to pee. So without questioning or asking, I just went behind the woods and started peeing, and I realized I didn't have any Kleenex or anything to clean up the pee.
That's what girls have to do.
That's what girls have to do, yeah. I don't have the luxury of
guys
just
get
turning
to shake, girls have to rake.
No, that doesn't make sense. I don't think you understand how that
a rake, you're raking leaves, you're wiping.
That would hurt. I think you need to I think we have to have a talk. But anyway, I reached into my pocket and I didn't have any wipes or anything, but I had a $10 bill. So without thinking, I used the $10 bill and threw it on the ground. And I heard everybody go, "Oh no, what are you doing?" And Benita said to me, "What are you doing? That's $10. And I was like, "Well, I mean, I don't know. I had to use it." And she's like, "No, don't throw that on the ground. That's $10. We'll use that later." So I listened to her and
picked up the dripping bill.
Well, it wasn't dripping, but
money.
It was the pee money. And it was very
pissing money away.
Yeah, I like to piss money away. It was very hot out, so it dried pretty quickly. So I had that working for me.
It's true,
but it was wet. It was.
Was it moist?
Yeah, the M word.
Don't drop the M word on Wacko Radio.
It was, and then it did dry, but I stuck it in my pocket, and we went to a bar shortly after that, and the cover charge was $5. So I said to Benita, "I will pay for our cover. 5 for me, 5 for you equals 10. So I'm gonna.
At least your math skills were
impeccable.
That's true. I'm surprised. I was like, we can't get him, And I said to her, "Okay, I'm gonna come right up behind me." And I remember it was crumbled up in my hand, and I said, "I'm just gonna give it to the guy, and we're just gonna run through because I don't want them being like, what the hell is that?" I was afraid. I don't know. I was afraid I was gonna get thrown in jail. I don't know. At that point, the tequila took over my brain. Nothing made sense. And I remember, she came up behind me and was like, "Okay, go." And she was laughing, but I was like, I probably looked real weird and guilty or something.
So you gave the doorman.
I did.
Shaking hand.
I was like, "Hey, I'm paying for me and her, and it's 10. And we just ran, took off, and I got away with it.
And then
woo! Thank you.
Yes.
It happened.
And then an hour later, you see the guy eating chips, licking his fingers.
And that may have happened. I don't know, but I lived to tell the tale. So
that's true.
So the moral of the story is, Everyone, money's dirty.
Yeah.
It's dirtier than you think.
Money is really
Because believe it or not, that $10 is probably still out there.
Floating around there somewhere, wherever
it's
you
endless. It's endless.
It may have came back around to me. I don't know.
It's true.
So if you have a $10 bill, everyone, wash your hands.
This smells familiar.
Yeah.
I had this 10 before.
Yeah.
I swear.
This tastes familiar.
This smells like mistake. I can't quite place it.
Something.
Well, I guess I'll take these pee stories and raise it to shit.
Ooh. Whoa. He sees the pee and raises a shit.
All right, so I do have do you guys have any like accidental stories like in your pants?
At least when I was sick.
Sick or fucking two.
Just in the pants. Nothing really comes to mind about like peeing pants or shitting pants since I was like a small child.
Yeah. Well, I had an accident not so long ago. Right now it's 2017. This is probably, let's say, a year ago.
Ooh.
I was at work. I was on a job, and it was the last day. It was this local Pittsburgh commercial. We have a UPMC, which is the local, the Pittsburgh Medical Corporation. I mean, what do you call that? I mean, what do you even call that?
University of Pittsburgh Medical Center.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like So anyway, it was UPMC commercial, and it was a rap day, like a rap out day. So basically, my job consisted of driving a truck around all day, dropping off shit, dropping off this, dropping off that. Anyway, so they asked me to take a FedEx package to the FedEx office. I said, all right, sure. When I had to leave, I kind of felt like I had to take a shit. I was like, well, I'll be okay. I'll be fine.
Famous.
So I go, it's a famous I'll be fine. So
what could go wrong?
What could go wrong? So I go in this like rental van. It's a rental van. It's not even my own car. I'm like, all right, FedEx, here we go. It was like a mile away. So I'm driving and I'm about to go over this bridge. And all of a sudden, it was like some Dumb and Dumber shit. Like, I just started feeling this terrible in my stomach, and I thought, oh my god, I got shit so bad, and I could have and I should have looped right back around and went right back to the office and just did it. But I was like, no, okay, I'm alright. I'm on the road.
You foolishly trusted
I could do
yourself.
this. So I'm driving across the bridge. All of a sudden, like, it really is hitting me harder and harder and harder. You start sweating. The legs start shaking. I'm like, holy fuck. So I'm driving, and I'm like, okay, I have a plan. I said, there's a Kogo's a couple blocks away. And about a block away from the Kogo's is a Holiday Inn Express. So I was like, okay, I'll stop in the Kogo's. If they don't have a bathroom, I'll walk to the Holiday Inn Express. I'll stay parked to the Kogo's and walk. It wasn't even a block, in South Side of Pittsburgh. If you guys could picture, and pull up to the Kogo's, fucking bust in the door. Sure enough, no bathroom. God damn it! So I started walking to the hotel, to the Holiday Inn Express, sweat dripping. Temperature rising. And I made the mistake. I should have. If you ever feel like you're gonna shit your pants, your best bet is to sit down, because I decided to run.
Write that down, everyone.
Write that down. If you have to go,
life tips.
Just sit. Find a nice little log and sit on it. Something hard.
A nice log.
A cinder block or something. A curb. So I decided, okay, I'll start running. So I start going like 5, 4, 3, 2, and I thought, oh my god, I'm shitting my pants. I stop, I try to clench, and I start waddling. I'm right at the entrance of the Holiday Inn Express.
Were you wearing pants or shorts?
Pants.
Okay.
Jeans, actually.
That
with some probably nice polyester boxer briefs. Probably.
Fruit
of the Loom,
really high quality.
Perhaps.
He's not messing around.
Sponsor elbow right there. But so I walk in the Holiday Inn Express, I'm like already in my mind, like, yep, I shat my pants. And it's like I swear everything is like in slow motion. It's just like you're coping with the fact like this is happening, like I can't believe this is happening, even though there's another part of your head that's saying this is gonna be a good story. Like this is like pretty funny. So like I walk past the lobby, kind of like do an awkward wave, like my ass, I'm clenched up, like shit's already down my leg at this point.
You still wave. You still take the time to wave.
Yeah,
you don't want to be rude.
I don't want to be rude.
You gotta, social etiquette.
Exactly.
So I go up to the bathroom on the the lobby, and sure enough, you need a fucking key card to get in.
Ooh.
Sometimes at these hotels you need key cards, and it was one of those things like it was like you ever hear like a mother's instinct, she could pick up a car or something like, or something, like you just all of a sudden.
Super strength.
So I don't know how, but like I busted through the door.
And
Crepes, this is his least favorite part of the story.
He's not happy about this.
So I busted in. Right, Crepes? He was actually there too. Crepes like I shit myself all the time. This is nothing. So anyway, I bust in the door, race up to the toilet, take everything off, and finish going because I still had to go. So I finished going. I was like, oh my god! And I'm sitting there like relieved, like just hyperventilating.
You just hulked your way into the bath.
I did. And I'm thinking, okay. And I look over and I said, for one thing, I look and I see a fucking stream, like a shit stream.
Trail.
Like a trail.
Ew.
I said, holy shit. No. And I look over, I'm on the toilet, and I said, I better lock this door. I mean, because one, like, what are those locks called when you swipe it? So, like if you're in a hotel room, you can lock it, then you do that other lock, that flip lock that you kind of open the door half, like a little bit.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, I better fucking I better flip that on. So I flipped it on, went back to the toilet, like noticed the fucking trail, the brown trail, and not even like 10 seconds into...
Nice.
Excuse me. Like, I swear, not even 10 seconds into it, the fucking door opens. And some guy sees me, because at this point, I stripped down. I pants off, shirt off. So I'm standing there in front of the sink, like, naked. Just hanging out, naked. And the door opens a little bit, but stopped by the lock. But the guy totally sees me. So he opens up and sees this naked guy in front of the mirror standing there.
Your heart skips a beat. Like,
and I looked and I thought, oh my god, like if I wouldn't have locked that, like he would have.
They probably think you're some kind of pervert or something. Like, what's this guy naked in there for?
I just like to touch myself in hotel bathrooms.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't see there's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
And so then now starts the cleaning process. I'm wiping and everything. I'm getting for one thing. There was no paper towels. There was no paper towels.
Why would there
be? I was like, son of a bitch. I'm like, are you fucking serious? And then I realized, like, okay, they're buried up in there.
Yeah. So
I go to pull it, and the fucking the little cabinet thing that holds all like the aluminum thing opens up. All these paper towels come just flying out. So there are all these paper towels all over the floor.
Looks like you totally destroyed.
I'm destroying everything. So I'm getting the paper towels. I'm wiping thing. I fucking toss my boxers, briefs, in the garbage because what are you fucking supposed to do? I'm like scrubbing my jeans, scrubbing myself.
Those polyester briefs.
The nice polyester briefs are gone, and maybe they're still floating around with the $10 bill out there somewhere.
Someone has that.
Someone has them. Some dude's wearing them. Like this feels a little bit crunchy, but I'll wear it.
We'll never know for sure.
And so I cleaned myself off and scrubbed these pants hardcore, put it back on. Now I'm underwearless, like so. Just in shock, like you're in shock this whole time. I mean, like and the whole time though, like I was happy enough that I had a positive look at it because I was like, this is like a pretty funny story. Like if this was in a movie or something, like this is like out of a movie. Yeah, this is like Bridesmaids.
This
would
be great later.
This would be good for a podcast someday. So I cleaned up. I ended up going to the FedEx, finishing the job, and then coming home and showering and going back to work and explaining. I had to call them and be like, look, I got sick. I gotta run home. I'll be back in a little bit, and then that was that. So it was embarrassing, but
did they like ask you what took so long?
No, I called and I was like, look, I'll explain when I get back. Like I got sick, like I had to run home. I'm sorry. I got back and I had to tell. I had to tell it. It was too funny not to tell.
Right?
Yeah. You have to, yeah.
I think that's the key to embarrassment. If you could just admit it and talk about it, and like, or have a sense of humor about it, then at least the embarrassment factor maybe kind of goes away a little bit.
I think that's something that everyone should take away from this in general.
Exactly.
Is that if there's something embarrassing like that, I mean, if you own it, you know.
Exactly. You gotta own up.
It's never as bad, because if you're owning up to it, then I feel like I can respect that.
Yeah. So if anyone out there had accidents, I guess they're called accidents.
Everyone has accidents.
You're not alone, man. Like people, and I don't know. Maybe I learned something from it. Maybe everyone should shit their pants at least once in their adult life.
It'll keep you humble.
It keeps you humble. Gives you a kind of a positive, a moral fiber of life.
Anybody who's I mean, I never like the only.
It seems like you already have plenty of moral fiber.
Yeah, let's cut down on the fiber.
Your moral fiber was leaking all over the floor of the hotel or the Holiday Inn
Express. Yeah, right. Somebody.
But I always think about the guy who walked in, like there's a story right there.
Well, yeah, you know what?
Let's get him on the podcast.
Yeah, if you're listening,
sir, it was a year ago.
If you witnessed
Holiday Inn Express outside in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
This is what happened. There was not a maniac on the loose or a pervert. It was just a very, very sad man.
Very sad man.
And sad times.
But in the long run, I lucked out. I didn't have an accident in the rental van, because that would have been real bad. Picture if I shat in this rental van that being returned that day.
I don't know what happened.
But,
it looks like it's all good, except there's a little bit of shit in there.
Yeah, like
no dents, no scratches, but what's up with this brown puddle?
Like, that was there.
I was already there. I was just driving around.
I must have been sitting on a Butterfinger. I don't know.
I was sitting around it.
Oh, that. Yeah,
it came with the van.
The only time I had anything like that happen was when I was like really sick. Like I had like food poisoning once, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and I didn't feel good, and then I ran to the bathroom and I started throwing up, and it was like one of those where it was just like. Like you can't. I felt like I was gonna die because I could not get any air in. I was just like, I kept throwing up, and then I could feel my stomach rumbling, and then I was like, oh no, and I could not stop throwing up, and then I finally went like, and I felt it in my pants, and I just felt very, very sad.
You didn't have the brown trail. No, I call it the trail of trust.
No, but I remember it's like I was really sick, and I felt like just disgusted as a person. I'm like, oh my god, I just crapped my pants and I'm throwing up. Like I felt like a baby.
That's just the
and I felt so sick, so I was like kind of like crumpled up in the bathroom. Like, oh god.
What would be worse? I had a buddy who got sick at school.
But at least I was home. Yeah, I was gonna say.
At least you were at home.
If you're at home and you're sick, take comfort in that because.
Yeah, there's another thing. If you're gonna shit your pants, do it at the comfort of your own home.
Do it at home.
Do it at home. Yeah.
Do it with the family.
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, like I could have been out somewhere. I mean, people have done that where they've eaten something and they start feeling not well, and then it's like a runaway train after that. You can't stop.
Well, my buddy got sick at school once, and here's a question, like, he had to make a choice because he had to throw up and shit at the same time, and he said, do I shit in the toilet, throw up on the floor, or throw up in the toilet and shit on the floor?
Throw up on the floor.
Yeah. I would throw up on the floor.
Yeah. Agreed. I think that's what he did, but he questioned it. He was like, oh, what do I do?
I mean,
fuck it.
I guess
I'm sure at that moment you're panicking.
Yeah. Or maybe shit on the floor and throw up on the floor to cover up the shit.
No, so if you have the toilet as an option, Brad, you're making it harder than it is. You're making it more gross. No.
Or spread your legs and shit and try to aim in between.
No,
well, yeah, that'd be so easy.
Throw up dick.
There's no way that would go out. Yeah.
Ooh.
Just throw up dick.
That doesn't go away
Just
for days.
Crap. And then throw up on the... I think anybody would rather clean up puke than poop.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, yeah. I mean, think of it that way. Like, would you, if you worked at somewhere and somebody did that, would you rather have to clean up the throw up off the floor or the shit? Because I would rather clean up the puke.
Yeah. I remember when I used to work at Chuck E. Cheese, there would be occasionally kids would shit and puke in the fucking tubes. You gotta climb up and, like, army crawl in and clean it up.
Oh, good, because it's nice and enclosed and hot in there.
Yeah.
So it makes it even better.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, we get down to the real important issues. So, it's hands down, if you have the issue...
Grab a tissue.
Crap. No.
You have to
use the toilet and throw up on the floor. That was all I was going to say.
Yeah. And then save yourself the embarrassment. Speaking of embarrassments, let's move on to, how about, since we're also talking about guilty pleasures, what is a movie and or television show that, has there ever been a movie or television show that you watched and got emotional with? Which you shouldn't have, because like, really? I got emotional during this movie? Like, what, are there any stories where you could think of where you caught yourself getting emotional and thinking like, this is kind of embarrassing? Laz?
Well, you have a story, don't you?
I just told my
I know,
story.
but I mean, I remember watching Scooby-Doo the cartoon, and I know. I said it's embarrassing, isn't it? Right?
What?
There was just like a part where there was the part where they were, going through like a scary house or whatever, and then they thought like the monster was gonna get them, and it was just Scooby and Shaggy, and they were hugging, and he's like, "Scoob, you're my best pal. I'll see you. Goodbye, Scoob." And they were hugging, and I got like upset.
Is this the old Scooby-Doo?
No,
the newer one.
Newer one.
Mystery Incorporated.
Yeah,
which is great.
So I was just like, "Oh," like I called myself being like, "Oh no," like, and it was embarrassing. I'm like, what am I doing? It's a cartoon. So that was the more recent one that I have.
I can just picture you in a room, like, people like, "Oh, have you seen Titanic? Oh, have you seen The Notebook?" And you're like, "Have you guys seen Scooby-Doo?" Shit's sad.
Yeah.
That shit gets real, man.
You know what? It's on the opposite of this. I also have times when everyone else has gotten emotional and I didn't. I was kind of laughing, and then I was like, I look psychotic. So
that's when you're like, "Oh, she's dead."
Yeah, I've had that where I'm like, this is so corny, haha, and everyone else is like sniffling and like one time I faked sad because I felt like everyone's gonna think I'm a psychopath. So I was like, oh, like I was trying to act sad, but once I realized, because I'm like, everyone's gonna no one's gonna talk to me anymore. I was like in 9th grade because I laughed. I'm like, this acting's terrible, and everybody was like, oh, I can't believe it. In this movie, I think it was Big Daddy.
Yours is Big Daddy?
That's what I just said.
Oh, that's
Big Daddy is when he's like, I can wipe my own ass.
Oh yeah.
And everybody got sad, like, I can't believe it, and I was kind of laughing.
And you're like,
I was laughing at it.
This movie sucks.
And I realized that I was like, oh,
I mean, you have like eye drops in your purse. You're like, oh.
I should have done that, I guess. So that's
funny though. That's funny though, because you talk about Big Daddy because with my story, it is another Adam Sandler movie, and it was fucking Mr. Deeds, which like if you look at the history of the tearjerker in movies, like no, that movie's not making the list. Man. That shit's not making any list probably. But I remember I was in college years ago. And it was Thanksgiving break. Everyone else went home. This is my excuse. Yeah, cue the violin.
Cue the violin. Poor Bradley sitting all alone.
Bradley all alone. But I was all alone. It's Thanksgiving. I'm thinking about turkeys and shit. I'm probably eating
thinking about turkeys.
I'm eating like, I don't know. I'm eating like a turkey Hot Pocket, like trying to like.
It's like your Ebenezer Scrooge
like candles,
holiday.
Yeah.
Turkey Hot Pocket will do. Looking out the window.
But I'm sitting there. I said, I'm gonna watch Mr. Deeds. So I probably had some drinks and some smokes and whatever. I was sitting there, I had a nice buzz. I'm sitting there watching Mr. Deeds, and then there's this part. You know what? It's always, and this is embarrassing. It's always like the lovey-dovey stuff that gets me. Cue the violin again. I guess.
Oh, everybody!
What a sweet guy!
Wow.
But there's a scene. There's a scene in Mr. Deeds where he's like reading, or no, he writes her a poem, Winona Ryder, and she's like reading the poem, like they're on like the front porch or something, and I'm watching it. I'm like, this is like kind of getting to me. Like a few moments pass, then all of a sudden, I feel a tear come down. I said, "Are you fucking serious? I'm fucking crying right now." Adam Sandler, Winona Ryder.
You start doing push-ups, like, I'm a
Starts
fucking
like,
man.
No, man.
I don't have feelings, babes in bikinis.
Testosterone.
Yeah. Don't need some tuna.
Bring on the babes.
Yeah, boning babes in sports cars. Well, I guess
That's what I want.
Doing push-ups and eating steak raw.
it's my daily routine. I don't cry.
Don't fucking cry.
I don't cry, man.
Yeah. So that was kind of embarrassing. Shawnee?
Oh yeah, I got one. Yeah, when I was younger though. It wasn't as recently, but
19.
yeah. But I had a huge soft spot for Harry and the Hendersons, and for anyone who doesn't know about that movie, you're dumb. No, I'm kidding.
Damn.
Get the fuck up. Just exit right now.
We don't need your
So
listening.
the family finds a Bigfoot, and they at first they're like, God, this fucking Bigfoot, and then they end up loving him. But then at the end, they realize that it's best for him to go back into the wild with the other big feet or whatever.
The big feet. Exactly. The Bigfoot.
So
Footy.
they take him out into the woods, and it's it's one of those scenes where it hits you right in the feels, right? Because they're like he doesn't want to leave, he loves them and they love him, but they're like, get out of here. At one point, what's his face? I can't remember the fuck his name.
What is his name?
I love that guy. John Lithgow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's yelling at him, giving him some tough love and shit, and he's like, "Get out of here! Go on, get out of here!" And Bigfoot's crying, and I'm bawling it's ridiculous. And I remember the one time I was I'm watching it, and before I know it, fucking waterworks.
Yes.
And then my dad came. I could hear him coming into the room, and I was like, "Oh hell no!" So I went and hid behind the couch, in the corner, just sobbing to myself like a weirdo. And he comes over. He's like, "Sean, what's going on? You all right, buddy?" And I was just like, I'm fine. It's just something in my
These damn
my
allergies.
eye. I don't even know what kind of bullshit excuse I came up with. But it was that was it for me. I remember I so vividly that day, just because I remember thinking right after that, what a fucking I'm such an idiot. Why are you even as a child I was like, come on, dipshit, man up.
Stop this water coming out of my eyes.
My face is leaking.
I don't like it.
So that was mine.
That's a good one.
Man, yeah, I gotta rewatch that one. It
doesn't
sound sad.
Now.
What's that?
I'm gonna have to watch that segment of the poem and the Harry and the Hendersons, and I'm gonna put it to the test and see if the woman cries.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's a tear-jerking scene, man.
It sounds like it, dude.
It is funny though, because sometimes there are those things though where you wouldn't think that would get to you. If you read the script.
Yeah.
You're like, or someone's telling you about the movie, and you're like, oh yeah, and there's this Bigfoot, and then they're telling him to go into the woods, and you'd be like, what?
But then he said he find another Bigfoot family.
Oh yeah,
he goes with his kind or something.
Yeah,
right?
because and it's such a cliche too. They just all know each other.
Yeah,
But so he finally starts walking off, and you think oh fucking. Harry's gonna be all by himself. That's so sad. And then all of a sudden they start literally coming out of the woodwork.
They just emerge.
They just emerge out of the trees.
Timing. Where were you weeks and weeks on with the Lithgows?
Yeah. Right.
All of a sudden there's a dozen
the Hendersons.
of them. Just oh Bill, where the fuck have you been?
You ran away from home. That should have been a spin-off right there. What happened when Harry went back with his Big Feet family?
Harry and the Harrys.
Harry and the Big Feet, yeah.
Harry and the Big Feet.
Harry and
I think we have our next movie idea, guys.
Harry and the Feet.
But also, like I said, with the opposite of that, was there, like I said before, was there something everybody was emotional over and you just were like, what?
That's a good one.
Because that's embarrassing too. I also was like, oh crap.
Right? When you seem like the non-human in the room.
The only thing I could... the only thing I'm thinking of moments as a kid. I remember, what was that Mandy Moore movie? Walked Doesn't she die at the end?
I don't know. I never saw it.
Well, spoiler alert right there. It was Mandy Moore. This is probably the 90s.
Oh, spoiler, I guess.
But I remember hearing about it, and everyone was like, But I was a punk kid, and I was like, who fucking cares about Mandy Moore?
Ooh.
Probably called Mandy Whore, probably is what we call
Mandy
her.
Whore.
It's like,
Okay.
what did she sing that I Want Candy cover? Isn't that about it? I don't know. No, she seems like a nice lady. But I remember hearing that, like, oh, and I was probably like, yeah,
like she
fuck
died.
her.
You're just being devil's advocate. Like, oh, she died. Oh.
Yeah, and I remember spoiling it for my sister.
Of course you did. Were you like, she dies, haha. Yeah. And then they banned you.
No. I wasn't that evil about it. I remember because I thought she saw it. Because Wax, remember, I'm like, yeah, she dies then. She said, no!
Brad ruined that family evening.
You ruined it.
Brad was the cliche douche brother.
Cliche.
At the moment. So one more quick embarrassing story, but it's not mine. It's when we were little, my brother used to always watch the Pokemon cartoons.
Yes.
And he used to record them and everything. He took it very seriously. You know, he collected the cards, all that. Yeah. But he was watching the cartoon, and there was one episode where they were like, I don't know, Pokemon got captured. I didn't really watch it. I didn't follow it, so I would just see parts of it when he would watch it. And there was like this episode where they were marching Pokemon. Like, I guess he got captured or something. It looked like they were marching him. Oh yeah, Pikachu. Sorry.
Damn.
That's how much I didn't watch. So yeah. So Pikachu was getting like taken to like the edge of a cliff or something. I don't know. It was like pretty dark. I don't know. That's what I saw, unless I'm remembering it correctly. But I remember being like, "Jeez," and I was laughing. I looked at my brother, and he looked like really upset, and he looked really concerned. So. If you're out there listening, brother.
Tearing up.
Don't tear up at the mention of that episode.
Did Pikachu make it, though?
I don't know.
Did he have to leap?
I guess we'll have to find out. I'll have to do some research. Maybe we'll ask my brother. He'll have to defend. He'll have to defend his honor. Yeah. See if we can ask him without him tearing up.
Yeah, Bill.
He'll just be like, I don't know. Okay, so
I mean...
This is stupid, and he'll stomp out. But so I wanted to make sure I threw that out there and embarrass him. So that's it for that story.
Classic.
Now, we can talk about music. I'm sure we all have a guilty pleasure, embarrassing.
Oh yeah.
CD that we bought.
Screaming into the hairbrush type.
Screaming into the hairbrush and looking back, thinking like, man, if I would have got caught, this is embarrassing as shit.
Yes.
Or
if you did get caught. As I.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I have some stuff here.
Sean's gonna come clean here.
Yes.
Looks nervous.
Get off your chest, man.
So the first musical CD that I ever owned was the soundtrack to The Lion King. It's the first, like, cause as a little kid, you know, like, I loved that movie, so, you know, I'd throw that CD on and be like, Hakuna Matata.
Yeah. What was your favorite track?
It's good music.
Probably Hakuna Matata, because it's the shit.
One, man. That's good. That's not too embarrassing. The album's probably pretty good.
But then I gotta follow that up with the first real, like, non-soundtrack CD that I ever owned was Seal. Because I always loved Batman. I've always been a huge fan of Batman, and that Kiss from a Rose song was in that movie. Yeah. And so I love that fucking song because I love the movie. And yeah, I got that CD just for that song. And so yeah, like little Sean back in the day was rocking out to fucking Seal.
I remember that CD because my friend got it too, and he was like, he's naked on the cover, and he was like bent
That's
down.
Right, yeah, dude.
I remember, and we got it, we were like, oh, he's naked.
Yes.
Why is he still naked?
Right? I probably thought that was so risque as a kid too. Like, I got this CD with the naked dude on it.
You're like, I'm adult, okay.
What?
You're mature for laughing.
What song? What was that music video? That song the dude was like naked, and it was like going the camera was like circling around him, and he was singing. Was it R. Kelly? Was it an R. Kelly song?
I don't know. I don't think so.
You almost saw like Man Bush because it was so low. Like the can't like. The
no,
angles.
I think
what
that
was that?
I can't remember his name. I think the song's called "How Does It Feel?" Maybe I could be wrong. I'll have to do research on that.
Liz, what CD purchases have you made that you're like, I probably shouldn't admit this to anybody?
Well, I know. Well, I remember buying cassettes. So
no, but I
cassettes.
So
yeah.
how
explain to the audience what that is.
No, ask your parents
yeah.
if you're
maybe your grandparents.
If you were born in 2000, ask your parents.
Yeah.
I had a Bangles cassette.
That's not so bad.
I had a Michael Jackson cassette.
Well, that's not bad.
I know. I'm just saying, like, I can't. I mean, I'm trying to think. I remember, though, making a CD, and that's pretty embarrassing, because it had a mashup of randomness.
Like a mixtape?
Yes. And that made no sense, because some of, like, I had random things from shows on there. Like I had an Elvis Presley song. I Can't Help Falling in Love with You. I don't know what the title is, but that song. I had that on there, and then the next track was...
Fucking Jerry Seinfeld.
No, but it was worse than that. It was like, and now the top 10 Simpsons quotes of all time. And it had all these Simpsons quotes on it. And it was stuff like that. Because my sister accidentally found it and didn't know what it was. And she was playing, and she was like, what is this? We were crying, listen to this. Because none of it made sense. And so it was just, I'll have to find it. But that's all. I remember being like, well, I don't even remember doing that. What was...
I remember... Well, the most recent one that I can think of that I did, like, this is within the past couple years, that I suppose is embarrassing and not something to admit to the ladies, I guess. I bought the best of ABBA.
Tasty.
Oh, wow.
A nice little tasty dancing
ABBA.
queen ABBA. So I had that, so that's not really too cool. But I remember as a kid, though, like, jamming out. My sister had the Backstreet Boys albums. I remember, like... You know, sneaking them, like, putting them in the thing, and, like, yeah, like, this is some good stuff. I remember even once going to, he's not here, but I remember going to Buddy's house to play GoldenEye, another game.
Nice.
If you kids don't know what GoldenEye is.
It was
a James Bond movie, but it was, like, probably actually the first, like, first-person shooter game.
Like, multiplayer game.
Like, ever.
Yeah,
like, back in, like, mid-90s, like, 96, 97, it probably came out. But I remember going over there to play GoldenEye, and he was fucking... playing Backstreet Boys the whole time. And it's like nothing. Yeah, this is gonna pump us up to
for this game.
Backstreet.
Yeah, right.
Shit.
You guys wanted to be the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, so that's those are the music things I can think of. That's not.
Did you ever get caught singing in your own world and then?
I kind of have a story about that. Getting caught singing something embarrassing.
Like you're in your own world and you're like, oh.
Years ago, I remember I was hanging out with some friends. Let's call them Karen, Christy, and
Crystal,
Rachel. I don't know, but anyway, so I was in a car with all girls. Let's put it that way. And we used to drive out to the Eaton Park in South Hills. Mm-hmm. And we would hang out there and then like for however long, and then the one night we were driving back from there. And so again, I'm in the car with all girls and they throw on the Alanis Morissette Jagged Little Pill album.
Good one.
And they're all rocking out. It's, you know, some like badass girl power fucking, you know, they're like having a great time. But my sister had also always been a big Alanis Morissette fan. So I knew every word to all these songs on the Jagged Little Pill CD, and that is a badass CD now. I'll say that now. At the time,
right.
It was like, you know, not cool, I guess, to be a dude and know like every word. So anyway, we're in the car and they're blasting it, and I'm thinking they're blasting it, you know, whatever. I know the words. I'm in the back seat. No one can see me, so I start like singing along, you know, first just like very subtly. You know, just kind of like, you know, and like eventually I start to get into it though, you know, because like, you know these songs and it's like, oh yeah, here comes the sweet spot, you know, you start getting into it. And at one point, I remember Carol, she paused the song like mid song,
no.
So like I'm still singing and they're like, wait. Are you singing along to fucking, like, Ironic or something by Alanis Morissette? And I was like, guys, my sister had the album, and they were like, are you kidding me? Like,
you fucking suck.
Oh, man. But as a follow-up to that, along the, speaking of Alanis Morissette, also the very first concert I ever went to as a kid was Alanis Morissette. Because my sister was a big fan, a good friend of hers was also a big fan, and so her friend's brother, him and I were friends. But we were young enough at the time that we weren't allowed to be home by ourselves. Mm. So since they were both going and their parents were taking them, we had to go too. And the truth is, I went there and it was awesome because Alanis Morissette is sweet. Mm-hmm.
She's gone.
But I just remember at the time though thinking like, oh my god, this fucking sucks. Like I'm a dude, like I want to play
your
video
hands,
games
your
and
like
shoot
arms
shit.
across, like this is.
Yeah. I'm like sitting there the whole time pretending like I don't like it, and meanwhile I'm just like rocking out to my chair dancing or I don't know, whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like but so I mean, in a way I guess like it's kind of cool to say that was the first concert I ever went to, but at the same time it's also kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, maybe.
But it's Alanis Morissette. Come on, let's be serious here.
Like I said, in Dogma, she's God.
She's God, man. Come on.
Good.
You can't turn away.
It would have been
that.
a good concert.
God can do anything.
And that's when she was really big when you went, right? So
yeah, it was like they were probably touring for Jagged Little Pill.
Right. So that was probably your main concert,
Not to get off. Does she like? Oh, does she like? Where's she been? Like, does she still have songs?
Is she still putting albums out, or is she just like?
Maybe she.
Kind of just going
off
back royalties from all over.
Oh, I don't know.
Which apparently that album was like supposed to be about him.
Uncle
Joey. Well, the one, one song I heard.
Or at least the one song, maybe that's.
There was like
the biggest hit.
Scratch your nails, or she's
go down on you in a theater.
Yeah, that's
just
where
like
she's
that.
Like, that's perfect.
Yeah. Well, Alon. Oh wow.
You should be on Alanis
I
Morissette cover band.
thought she was here. Yeah. Alan.
So she went from
Alan Morissette.
Yeah, but what about any TV shows like Guilty Pleasure?
Well, I had one
song
that I got.
Oh yeah.
Then I got like Sean was saying, we kind of got busted.
Yeah.
So I have one where this is probably my own fault for sitting in the dining room, but back when you could download songs on Napster.
Yeah.
So you'd think like no one's home, put the headphones on.
Google it.
And so I did that, and it was En Vogue's Free Your Mind.
How's that go?
It's like, free your mind.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a singer. You have to listen to it.
And you were jamming out.
I was, and I was like lip syncing it though. Like I was like, and really into it, and I completely apparently my brother was home, and he's like, whoa, and he'll still bring it up, and he'll always go, free your mind to me. So I was really in my own world in the dining room, just like that and an Eminem song I got busted listening to too, and I can't remember. The Way I Am, that song. I was into that song too, and I got busted by my brother again in the dining room.
I still can't get past the free your mind and the rest will follow.
It's a good song. I loved it.
Like in front of the mirror, and then you look and see like your brother's just like.
I wasn't in front of the mirror. I was in the dining room. Because I was listening to Napster, so I was sitting at the computer, so I wasn't even looking at myf in the mirror or anything. Man. I was just in my own world, eyes closed, like
great.
So I still haven't heard the end of that.
I don't know if I was ever busted singing. I mean,
well, didn't you bust your sister? You said
I busted her. Yeah, I remember that. What Meredith Brooks?
Yeah, the bitch.
The bitch. I'm a bitch. Yeah. I'm a lava. Yeah. I remember
you caught her.
No, I heard it on the radio. I remember arm crawling or whatever, and looking through her door, looking the crack of the door, waiting to see if I want to see her say bitch. In the song she did, I kicked the door in. I busted.
Saving the blackmail.
Bitch.
Yeah. Blackmail.
I was waiting for it, and I'm like, she fucking did it.
She swore.
She said bitch. You guys.
She swore. And then somehow I get yelled at or something.
Probably. Why you spying on your sister?
Why you spying on your sister?
Exactly. So moral of the story is don't be nosy.
Don't
like
don't
Brad.
don't be nosing. I remember another embarrassing to get to speaking of sister and that. I remember here's another quick little another pee story that's kind of embarrassing. That could
beautiful.
maybe be funny. Coming back, it involves my sister. I peed on her face one. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, man, I was about to get really excited.
No,
about
I
that
remember.
story.
I don't know how embarrassing this is, more than funny, but I remember at my parents' house when I was younger. The vents in my room and my sister's bedroom, like, you could see through it.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see into her, like, so if you look through the vent, you could see into the other room.
Yeah.
As my sister got older, they put a plate thing, so you couldn't do that. You know, she's getting older and stuff, and, you know, like, I know how girls need their privacy when they get to that age.
Listening to her talk about boys, because you would.
But I remember once as a kid, we had one bathroom at the time at my parents' house, and I had to pee real bad, and someone was in the shower. I was like, shit. I was like, you know, fuck it. I'll pee in the vents.
How old were you?
17. No.
Because you said fuck it. I'll pee in the vents. I'm just wondering how old were you?
I don't know if I said fuck it. Maybe I said suck it. I'll pee in the vent.
Suck it. I'll pee in the vent.
Frick it. So I said, I'm just gonna pee in the vent, you know. Problem solved. Like no one would know. Maybe when the heat comes out, it'll smell kind of, well, you know, like asparagus. I don't know.
Refreshing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I peed in the van and I'm like, all done. All right, I'm gonna go back to playing with, you know,
all done.
My Mighty Max or whatever I was playing with, and all of a sudden I hear, Brad, get up here. Oh, sure. You know, everything's cool. I go up, and it's my dad and my sister in my sister's room, standing over a puddle of piss in my sister's bedroom, looking at it, confused as hell. And so basically I peed, not getting into the vent, but going through the vent and into her room. So I basically just pissed her on her floor. And then, so I mean, maybe at the time that was embarrassing, but
what did you say? I just had to pee.
I'm sure I denied it. Like, I don't know what it is.
I don't know how that pee magically appeared.
I don't know. I didn't do it.
I actually, honestly, I don't remember what I don't remember what I did. I don't. Cripes, do you remember? Cripes Wacko. So that was to get back to our pee stuff. But what about television shows? Are there any shows that you're a fan of that, or that you like even now that you like, that it's like, yeah, I can't parade this and announce it to the world like, this is great.
I loved the Superman series when Dean Cain was in it, because I was in love with Dean Cain, but I used to record them, and I remember in I think maybe 6th or 7th grade, I can't remember, but I was embarrassed that I had a crush on him. Like, I was always really, like, I was never open about that stuff. Like, if my mom was like, oh, do you like that? I'd be like, no, I don't. Okay, it was on TV. Like, I never had, like, really posters in my room. Like, I was always like, no. No. And I remember I used to record them, and somebody, I played basketball growing up, and my dad would always record the basketball games, and this girl asked, like, oh, can I watch, like, the game, you know, from the other night? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And I gave her the wrong tape, and it was of Superman, and I was really devastated. Which, I mean, I guess it's not that embarrassing, but for me it was. Because she was like, yeah, it was just Lois and Clark on there. And I was like, oh, my brother likes that show.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I know.
don't watch that stuff.
It wasn't, yeah, like, I know it's not like an embarrassing show, but to me it really was, because I never would tell. And there was a small, tiny point where I tried, I would watch Dawson's Creek. I tried to get into it, and I just couldn't. But everybody was like, oh, I never liked anyone on there. And I tried to, and then I was like, I can't do it.
Not to tell other people's stories, but I was there. But I remember going to my buddy's house once. This is probably during middle school, and it was like, yeah, let's go hang out in my bedroom. So I was up in my buddy's bedroom, and he had a calendar on the wall, and I went. I guess he forgot that maybe he would normally take it down. I don't know. When friends came, but I noticed that he had the schedule for the OC. Remember that show, the OC?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he had it like on his calendar. I remember like laughing and like, dude, I mean, what? Shut up, man.
It's a good show.
It's a good show, man. So that
You busted someone's embarrassing story.
I don't think I've really watched. I mean, I don't know if Friends is considered a guilty pleasure embarrassment thing.
I mean, I feel like
It's
a lot
a
of
hit.
people
I mean,
like
I don't
that.
know.
It's a hit. Maybe
A lot of people like that show.
I don't know. We did watch stuff. We have been watching the Fuller House. That's not really too cool.
I mean, yeah, you know.
Everyone's like, oh, have you seen the new Game of Thrones series or the new this? And it's like, oh, we watched Fuller House season 2. We got through that.
Yeah.
This is that's not good. Not cool. Shawnee boy, you got let's spill your beans, dude. What do you watch that you're embarrassed?
Embarrassing TV show. Well, my thing is that I'm a big nature show guy, which I know like to some people would probably, because I feel like it's always in like these comedies where it's like some weirdo at their house. And, like, whatever's on TV, it's always some fucking nature documentary. Like, that's always part of the joke in those scenes when they're watching. It's like, the majestic falcon, like, loves to shit on baby. I don't know, like, whatever they talk about. And then, like the whole point of it being there is just that you're supposed to be like, this motherfucker's watching nature shows.
Weird, yeah.
And then I'm like, I am that guy. Fuck.
Sean's that guy, you guys.
And now I'm watching, like,
coming
Deadliest Sharks. Like, you know, I don't know, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
I watched a whole documentary on fucking koala bears one time.
Tell us the fact, Sean.
Koala bears are full of STDs.
Really?
Did you guys know that?
No, I didn't.
Next time
Everyone
you're
thinks-
fucking kissing one in the forehead.
Everyone thinks that koala bears are these cute, adorable little, like, almost like a stuffed bear.
Yeah.
You know,
Little
like
Ewok.
I'm sure there's probably a lot of little girls out there that are like, oh, I love koalas, they're so cute, and blah, blah, blah.
No.
It's like, no, they're full of STDs.
Damn.
Because apparently they just, like, bang indiscriminately in their little koala tribes or whatever the fuck they are. I don't know.
They're very irresponsible,
But
apparently.
yeah, apparently they're very, like, they're pretty irritable animals. They get into a lot of territorial disputes.
And then they have
I
STDs.
guess. So if you ever just imagine like two teddy bears just duking it out. Like that's
They're
what
just,
it
like,
is when they
slugging
fight with each other. But yeah, then they also there's a lot of unprotected sex happening in the koala world apparently, and so like apparently yeah, like large percentages of their population are full of STDs. So there you go.
Can you imagine what if animals like found a way how to like put on condoms?
I don't think they would understand the point.
I
Maybe
mean,
not.
they're like, bring on the STDs. What?
Can you imagine like the koala condoms?
Well, I mean, maybe that's $1 million idea right there.
There it is.
Let's
Shouldn't have
save
said it.
the
Someone's
koalas.
gonna steal it.
Koala condoms.
Koala condoms.
Stop.
Tonight's episode brought to you by koala condoms.
What if that's how they did sizes?
Sean's our
for
nature
condoms,
guy. We have a
you
nature
know?
guy on the show now.
What if that's how we did like sizes in like just in general in life, like the condom companies. They're like, well, we have anything from koala to gorilla. Just pick your poison.
And then there's like the mouse aisle, which that's what I'm in.
That aisle's never very well lit. It's
Sean,
always like a dark aisle.
You bought condoms before, right? I mean, have you bought condoms before?
Yeah.
Were you? I don't know, man. I don't know how you roll. Was it like embarrassing? Is it like weird? It's kind of weird,
you know,
right?
I mean, because it's I don't know. I think it's more embarrassing like when you first start having sex.
Maybe.
Because especially if you're like younger, even if you're trying to be responsible and you're like, I'm gonna go get condoms. Still, it's like if you're younger, you go up and like, you know, especially if it's later at night and it's always like some old lady named like Margaret or something.
Marge.
Or like
Babs.
Or like, you know, Mildred, something like that, that's working the counter, and you go up
It's
with
gonna be
just
offended.
like with like condoms and ring pops. I don't know, whatever kids
Yeah.
buy.
Whatever.
Would you do the thing where like you would buy like multiple things so it wasn't so obvious?
Well, that's the thing.
Like
yeah.
the classic. Like
Yeah,
that's
you
like a
grab
classic.
a couple items, a
Yeah.
couple like normal items, and then you just slide that in there and Just throw in the fucking bag. Just put it in the fucking bag.
But it is like it is weird. I mean, but it shouldn't be. I mean, in fact, it should be like cool. Like that's right.
To buy condoms.
That's right. I'm doing it.
I think Jerry Seinfeld said something like there should be like a code. He said where you go up and you just kind of like say like they'll say to you, oh, like you have a magazine, and they'll say, oh, just the magazine, and you say yes, and you slowly nod, and they just put the condoms in the bag. Like there should be some kind of code.
Right? Yeah.
I had somebody. I had a funny story that someone told me. Not a funny story, but what they would do when they would buy condoms. I think it was my cousin's friend. I think. That told me that he would get so embarrassed, so he said he would always buy a birthday card and and say like, "Oh, like I'm putting it in there like it's a joke."
Yeah. like you feel the need to explain to the cashier, like, "Oh, look at this! This is gonna be a joke I'm doing. I'm not doing it."
Yeah, and like, it was pretty funny, and I'm like, really?
Cars.
He was like a birthday card. He's like, "Let's just do that and make it look like it's a joke."
Your car is just full of like unused
you
birthday cards.
You have tons of birthday cards, yeah.
Just
right.
Hide in your center console.
Well, I guess worse would be like buying porn. Probably would be more embarrassing, right? Because then that's like the opposite of. Here's condoms, I'm getting action. Here's porn, I'm not getting action.
Yeah, I guess that is kind of the.
Have you ever bought porn?
Actually, I was just gonna say I don't think I've ever gone into like a porn store and bought anything.
Gotta do it, dude.
Like I've gone in before, and because like you have to go in at some point in your life just to see how.
Well, like a porn shop, like a
sex
shop.
I've been in them before, because again, like there's always that curiosity, like you're like I gotta see what's like I gotta see what the biggest fucking dildo they have is, like something. It's always something,
It's called the Sean.
Oh.
Compliments.
But so I've never bought anything from them. No. Yeah, I've never been like, yeah. Do you have any? Is the only size cock rings you got? Like I've never had that moment. I don't think.
But I guess if you're buying like porn or something like in a shop, I guess maybe it is less embarrassing because they're like.
I mean, the people working there, like, it's not like a secret when they see you come in. Like, they know what you're gonna be buying.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I did work at one before, so.
That's true.
So yeah, I imagine for them, it must just be hilarious for the people working there to see the people that are really embarrassed and skittish about it.
Oh yeah, that's way more. That was because I did work at one for a little while, and that was always more, like, because it's like we're here to We're here, obviously. If we work here, this isn't making us uncomfortable. We're around, so that tells you right there the kind of personality you have that works there. And when people would come in and be like, like skittish, and you're like, tell me, what do you, no, don't ask so loud. I had someone yell at me once. I'm like, well, I'm just asking to help you. Oh, I'm like, okay.
I mean, that's true, though.
You want me to pretend you're not in here? Like,
I guess it is, no matter what, even though, it's a given, I guess, the people that are working there, like, they're not fazed by the fact that you want some fucking, I don't know, some, like, leather
like something we
shit
sell,
or
like,
something like that, or whatever. Like, you're working the register. Like, I'm just ringing you up. I don't care what you do with this shit. Like, whatever.
Right, that's exactly the attitude. But they think it's like what we're making a file, like, a bunch of weirdos. No. When you act like it's weird, that's when we're like, what's your problem?
You know what would be embarrassing, though? Like, to get baback to, like, condoms, which I guess ultimately...
You can't even say it without getting embarrassed.
I know, I can't say it without blushing. I got the condom blush.
Yeah.
But, because they have, they have regular, then they have Magnum. What if they had, like, mini?
Mini?
Well, they have those
like bite size.
Picture having to buy
fun size.
Fun size. Yeah, that's it.
They have those at like Spencer's Gifts. I remember it would be like those little gag.
Or like if you had to ask for like, do you guys have petite condoms?
So,
okay, you see this pencil? It's like
see this eraser on this pencil. It's that.
It's like a fucking Twizzler. Like, what is that from? That's from a movie, man.
Deuce Bigelow.
Yeah.
It's a candy corn.
Oh man, you know what? Okay, this is like a kind of a random thing, but I always use, and it's just in my head. I know because it's not a thing that you should be embarrassed about. But I just always felt weird saying the word shampoo.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
Because poo.
It's not something that's. It's just a word, you know. Like it's not even like a word to be embarrassed about. Like you know. But yeah, that's like for some reason I'll do that thing, like the same thing that you would do if you were saying like, oh, so anyway, he kicked her in the vagina. You know, but I would say the same way, like, oh, I think I'm out of shampoo. I would say it like it was like someone was gonna make fun of me for saying shampoo. Yeah, I don't know why.
As a kid or as an adult?
Like always. I don't know. There's no logical explanation for it. It's just one of those irrational things.
You just hate that word, maybe?
For some reason, like the word shampoo just seems like a girly word to me. Which also makes no sense.
Shampoo.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna say any shampoo. The story. Everyone's gonna beat you up.
Like I wish there was just like a manlier term, like guy shampoo. If they would call it like sham man.
There we go. Sham man. I need sham man for my manly hair.
I need some sham dude.
Here you go. Sham man. Sham dude.
I know it's totally ridiculous, and it's even kind of embarrassing to say right now. Because I've never
Sean's
actually
freaking
said that
out.
before.
Breathe, Sean. But, a plastic bag or paper bag.
But it's true. Yeah, for some reason I always felt awkward saying shampoo. I have no idea why. It must be something that I've like blocked out of my mind, or
something bad happened with shampoo.
I guess I had a scarring shampoo experience. I don't know, man.
It burned your eye once, and you were just no.
I just felt like I don't know. It was just like it always seemed like a very feminine word to me. That it was like awkward to say. And just like what the fuck? What is that even about?
I'm gonna get that check, dude.
Sham man. Sham dude.
I need some sham dude.
It makes you feel better, yeah. I remember when I was little, I don't know if I saw a movie. I think I was watching, something was on TV. And these people, like I guess these teenagers were like out on a date, and the guy was trying to be cool, I guess, and he like paid or whatever, and he was like, keep the change, and you know, like kiss the girl or whatever. And so I thought like that's just, I don't know, I thought like, oh, like, ew, like boys, you know, whatever, when I was younger.
Yeah. And
I thought it was embarrassing, and so anytime, like if my dad or mom would say, here, run in and grab the pizza. You know, tell them to keep the change, or pay someone where you'd have to tip and tell them to keep the change. I would never say it because I would be embarrassed because of that. So I would never say it. And I was like, no. And so they would be like, where's the change? And I'd be like, there wasn't any.
I remember.
There wasn't any.
Or I mean, I would get it back.
And
they'd say, no, you said to keep. You know,
keep
like
change,
I told
right?
you to give this to them. They'd be like,
oh, and you pocketed it, saved up, and
I was that. I don't know why.
Person, I thought your parents were dicks or something.
Yeah, no, like why is everybody so rude?
Is this spit again on this pizza? What the? We tip every time.
Yeah, I'm like,
I don't know. I didn't know what a tip was. I remember like there's this local diner. There's this local diner, Tom's Diner. Anyone in the dorm on Pittsburgh area will know it. I would go there with my dad, and one morning we left, and he left a couple $dollars as a tip. And I grabbed it. I was like, Dad, wait, you forgot your money. And he's like, dude, you idiot.
You idiot.
So if anyone in that restaurant saw that, I'm sure they were probably, what the fuck?
Brad was against tips. Yeah, I hated that. And also, I remember when I was little, and if you would like be leaving somewhere, the adults would always say, okay, take care. And I thought that was like an adult thing to say. So I would be like 6 and telling people to take care. Like when I'd leave like my friend's house, all right, take care.
Take care. You're like at a restaurant, like here's your dinner. Oh, take care.
All right, take care.
Like, but I mean, if like I would leave my friend's house or something from playing, you know, like my parents would come pick me up, and I'm like, all right, see you in school tomorrow. All right, take care.
Take care.
Fucking weirdo.
What does that even mean?
Take care of yourself.
But speaking of take care, maybe I guess we should probably. We got over an hour, guys. Maybe we should tell the audience to take care.
Take care. Take care, fuckers.
Take care. Remember to tip.
Remember to tip well.
If there is, if you leave a tip, before you go out to any restaurant, Google what a tip, just to know, just so you're prepared, so you don't get in that embarrassment situation where you end up
Make sure your kids aren't hoarding it, because maybe they don't understand what you're doing.
And if you're going to buy condoms, just buy something else with it, like shampoo.
Yeah, might as well go all out embarrassment, Shampoo and
condoms, and a Butterfinger. Like, this is gonna be one hell of a night.
There we go. Yeah.
Sounds great.
Sounds crazy. What party you going to?
But all right, Wacko audience, everyone. There will be more embarrassing stories podcasts coming up in the future, and
it's been a tasty time.
It's been a tasty time. So we're gonna put on some Alanis Morissette.
Yeah.
Put on some shampoo and
condoms.
condoms.
Some Alanis.
And maybe we'll shit and piss ourselves.
All right. Let's see what happens tonight. Maybe we'll have a better story for next time.
We'll watch Harry and the Hendersons, and then any Adam Sandler.
And I'll fake cry.
All right. Well, take care,
Signing
guys.
off.
Signing off.
Goodbye.
Wacko Radio.
Woo.